Blackburn with Aunt Mags. Cook seemed to think she couldn't live without them. Sibbie smiled to herself at these thoughts, as they brought home to her how she was surrounded by the love of so many people. And now her lovely cousin Marjie, as she called Marjella, was here from France to join her on the language course she was taking, which meant they were going to spend a lot of time together. Life couldn't be better, and she prayed that all the fears of war would come to nothing. As Sibbie followed her Aunt Mags through the wide hall of Fenniscowls Manor, she turned towards the kitchen. Opening the door, she called out, "Hello, Cook! Aunt Betsy sends her love." "Sybil, you've arrived then, lass. I'd give you a hug, but I'm covered in flour. How is Betsy?" "Ah, that's as it should be. I like to see that nothing has changed." "Oh, Betsy is fine, they all are. I'll give you their news later." A lovely rounded lady. Cook had been part of the house for as long as Sibbie could remember, and she loved the way Cook always used her proper name. She was the only one who did. Not that it mattered, because being called Sibbie reminded her of Montel, who had first shortened her name. An ever-present ache nudged Sibbie at this thought. Montel had been her proper daddy, if not her real one. What she knew from her mum about how Harold Rowford, her blood father, had led his life, she didn't like, and she had never felt any kinship to him. She would have liked to have met Harold, though, just so that she could have kicked him in the shins. As they walked through the withdrawing room towards the French windows that led to the garden, Sibbie took in the graceful furniture and the calming colours of pale blue and cream that adorned this room. The familiarity of it reinforced the fact that she was very much a part of this house, as Aunt Mags was like a second mother to her, so home was wherever she was. Marjie, coming into view, drew Sibbie's attention away from her lovely surroundings. "Marjie, oh Marjie!" Marjie jumped up and ran towards her. When they collided, they hugged and twirled around together, as if they would never part again. Mags laughed out loud at them. "You two! You would think you were sisters, not cousins. I'll leave you to it and go and organise Cook to bring tea and biscuits." Although Sibbie and Marjie had been brought up in different countries, Marjie in France and Sibbie in Scotland, they had bonded the moment they met. When Mags first took Sibbie to France at the age of 8 to meet her Aunt Flores, Marjie's mum and the sister of Harold Rowford. Sibbie had loved France, and being part of the Domaine de Florella, the vineyard that her Aunt Flores and Uncle Cyrus owned, along with Aunt Ella and her husband Arnie. When they came to a standstill, Sibbie linked arms with Marjie. "I can't believe you're here. And what do you think of England? And more especially Blackburn?" "I know. I can't believe this time has come at last. It's so good to see you, Sibbie. I haven't seen much of England or Blackburn, only through the windows of trains and cars. But I know I'm going to love it here." "You will. I do. This village, the beauty that surrounds it all, the town of Blackburn, and Aunt Mags's mill and Uncle Jerome's veterinary practice, it's all so lovely. And you'll love the language school. Professor Hilson is adorable, eccentric, but a marvellous teacher. So how was your journey?" "Long, and very boring, but at times rather frightening, as the stations were crowded with soldiers, especially in France. It made me appreciate the reality of what my parents and brothers are talking about all the time. I saw a lot of soldiers today too. Even women are being recruited here. I'm just too young to be called, although I really feel like offering my services." "But what would you do? And what about your studies?" "I don't know. But the fact that I speak French and I'm studying German might be of use in some field or other. Anyway, there may not be a war. We are just speculating." Beth and Belinda had run across the lawn and were now demanding attention. For half-sisters, they had a lot of similarities, although Beth, at 15 years old, was looking more like a young woman than a girl. Her shining black hair and beautiful, huge, dark brown eyes reminded Sibbie so much of Beth's late father, the beloved Montel. As Sibbie pulled the girls in close, she told them, "Look how beautiful."